welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a little time sexing zebra plecos. And what I like to do is use the TCT, what I call it, method of choosing males from females. And that is looking at the traits, the characteristics, and then the traits again to make sure I'm making the right choices of a male versus a female. And so what we're going to do, we're going to look at the tank to the left. And I already had made the choice. I put in a trio, a group of 3 in this left tank. Now let's take a look at the traits. The traits of a male is to guard a cave. And right away we can see this male guarding the cave. Now the traits of a female in most cases, because sometimes you can see them guarding the cave, but in most cases they're off to the side of the cave by the dominant male, but they don't go in. Now we can see one female on the right side here, and it is another one. I don't see the secondary female, but she's in the tank. Now to make sure that these are females and not a sub-male, male that has less dominance, I put a third cave off to the right, away from the territory of the dominant male. Now that will help a sub-male choose that cave, which has not taken place. So let's go on to the second tank underneath to the left, and I set the tank up the exact same way. I set it up as a trio. I got 3 zebra plecos in this tank. And right away we can see the male showing dominance. He's guarding his cave. But if you look underneath the left side of that rock there, it is actually 2 females in that tank underneath the rock. Now, keep in mind, I set this tank up exact same way. I put the other cave further on the right, so if one of those females were a sub-male, they can feel comfortable of guarding a cave away from this male. Again, that has not taken place. So I know most likely I have 2 sets of trios in both of these tanks. 1 male, 2 females. So now, we're going to go up and we're going to take a look at a group that I just purchased back from a gentleman, a fellow hobbyist, that I sold these fish to when back in early 2023, I sold, I think it was 5 or 8, but he ended up calling me back and he said he was getting out of the hobby for a while and he had 1 male to 4 females. And so I had to make sure. So what I do, I put them in this quarantine tank. This is going to be rescaped or redone after I get everything the way I want it, but I wanted to see their traits, their personality. Right away, you can see 2 females. Let me stop the bubbles. We can see 2 females that are underneath on the bottom here, showing the traits of a female. None of them are going in caves, but it's no male there, but they're sitting by the sides of the cave. So I know that's most likely females, but we're gonna have another method to make sure that I'm correct. But then you see here on the right, you see 2 females on the side of the cave. But if I get this flashlight, let me get this flashlight going here. Look in here inside this cave. 1 male. He was 100% correct when he sold me 1 male to 4 females. But to make sure, we're going to go to the second method of what I do, and that's to see the characteristics. We're going to look at the traits, the pectoral fins, the traits of the features of this fish. And we're also going to vent the fish to make sure that they're male or female. So for an example, I'm going to grab one of my dominant males off the tank so you guys can see that, because these are too young, you can't really see it well, but you can look here on the ordinates of the fish along the side of the eye there. You can see the whiskers really long on this male, and you can look at the head structure. It's squared off, showing that it's a male. And just take a look at that. And also the same male I'm going to lift up and I'm going to vent it so you guys can see that as well. And look at the sturdiness and thickness of this male. His whiskers are long, his pectoral fin is kind of thick, Even though he's a young male, he's only around 4 to 5 years old. But then this is my proven method. I've been venting fish for a long time, dealing with African cichlids in the past, and especially with frontosas. The male is gonna have his sex organ, the sex organ is gonna be in a V shape, where the females is gonna be a U. And as you can see here, that is the secondary method of what I use to make sure I'm choosing correctly. But then after that, I go back to the T, because I called it TCT. I go back, I put them back in the tank again, and then I watch their traits. Are they displaying these traits again as a male versus a female? And then from there, I'm able to choose correctly. And so that's what's been taking place. That's the method that I choose. And it takes time to be able to vent fishes, especially when it comes to cameras like mine. It's not a great camera. So I'll suggest having someone help you. You take the picture, you blow it up, and then you can see if it's a V shape or it's a U shape. And that's what I've been doing. And so now I'm just going to show you what I have planned for the future here for these zebra pleco tanks. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I'm going to expand it. I'm trying to breed more zebras. I lost some in the past, so I'm picking back up some new ones. This is a group of 5 to 6 babies that I produced last year. I was going to sell them, but I decided to keep them. But I also do want to add a different bloodline into my group. And so I'm going to be looking for that in the future as well. But it's interesting that, I used to hear this a quote years ago that said, speak with honesty, think with sincerity, act with loyalty. And I always strive to be honest with the people that I deal with. And so the gentleman I bought these fish back from, he was getting out of the hobby, and I was so happy that he contacted me, because I remember when he was trying to get into zebra plecos, and someone sold or advertised the group, and he sent the money, and he never got the fish. And so when I was dealing with him, I told him the best way to pick a group is to get the smaller ones and to then get a mixture of small to large. And he did just that. And lo and behold, what did he receive? He got 4 females out of that group. So I was just so happy that he called me back for me to get these fish. So my goal here, I'm going to mix these up. I'm going to use, I have another tank off to the left that we didn't discuss, which I have 2 males in there. So I'm going to split those 2 females up. I'm going to make 2 more trios. Then I'm going to have 1 extra male. And my goal here is to sell I'm going to keep my super whites in this top tank, but I'm either going to sell either my L136s or my L333 albinos to be able to get more zebra plecos. So this is all the time I'm going to take today. I just wanted to show this quick tutorial and showing you guys how to do this. If you are happy with this, please like and subscribe. And again, next, I'm going to be showing you my process of breeding them.